Hi, welcome back to another episode of whatever this is. I don't know which episode this is. I think it's 39. Artem, is it 39?
39. But the thing is, I don't actually know for sure because I remember we had that
No,
like
it's less.
we went from somehow from 29 to 30 to 29.
That's our graphic designer's fault. I'll talk to him soon. But this week, it's an important. It's not an important, but we have a couple of questions for you guys. We have because we're planning a rebrand of the podcast, trying to take it to the next level. We'll get into that in just a second. Before that, we are joined by a regular guest at this point, basically the third member of whatever this is, David Sanson. David, what's up? How you doing?
I'm right, man. I'm privileged to be the third member of this.
Yeah, it's like David is essentially like Artem at this point because to both of them, I just ask what time, like, do you want to record? What time do we record? And both of them just like answered. Like the level of communication is the same at this point. Like I don't have to write elaborate messages inviting people on. It's just, hey Artem, what time do we record? Hey David, you want to come on? Answers are yes. There you go. We've started on. But yeah, the thing about the rebrand that we're talking about is first, guys, we're going to make a Twitter account for the podcast. Because I personally have not been able to plug the podcast or sadly even put as much effort into it in the past few weeks, and we're changing that. That changes right now. So we're going to make a separate Twitter account for it. We're going to also sort of cover Russian football when and how we can in a sort of meme-ish way, do polls, discussions, and so on, and hope that it gets some acclaim. Secondly, we are also going to try and make changes to our format. You guys might remember that we experimented with our own faces at one point, and we're going to speak to some guys who are also running a football podcast, and we're going to try and make something happen. Thirdly, Artem, we have a proposal for a new name on the table. Can you introduce it to our fans? And
I actually don't think I should introduce it because I'm not the one who brought it to the table. David, the man who was on the podcast today, he's the one who let us know that this name was actually available. So I think David should introduce it.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, let's go back and just put some context to said name. So over the years, obviously, on the podcast and on the Twitter for RFN, we've always had these, crazy moments of things that happen in Russian football. And the typical preface we've always put with it was only in Russia. And I don't know what made me think of it, but I just thought about it the other day and I thought, I wonder if that's a thing. And I couldn't find an existing podcast, so potential name change to Only in Russia, the Only in Russia podcast, I guess.
Yeah, so guys, let us know if you think that that's a good name for the podcast. Now I know what some of you are thinking, and this has already been mentioned to me, that you're going to call your podcast Only in Russia when 75% of your content is about just random shit that happens in the
Can
world.
I just point out though,
Yes.
on YouTube, which we've got up on the screen here, we've got whatever this is, and underneath it says Russian Football Podcast. And granted, that's not in our title, but it is our tagline. I say our.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good idea, actually.
you're proud of us, David. You've been on at least, I'd say, 25% of episodes with us, David.
At least 8 times.
Really? Oh, didn't think it was that many.
It probably is.
Wait, it has been 8
I was
times.
thinking
man,
like
I'm
5 or
just-
6.
I'm
They're
just
just
saying
so
numbers.
good, they fly by.
I just like to say numbers.
They do. Time flies when you're having fun and all that. The last episode was great. I really enjoyed the GeoGuessr.
Oh yeah, we did play GeoGuessr live.
We did.
If we
We
The
bossed
sh-
it.
The shame about that though. Was that the voices and the picture didn't actually end up lining up. So I feel like whoever watched that was just. It probably wasn't the great
I figured out-
experience.
I
So
figured out
if
why
you
that
watch
was,
that
by the way.
episode, fair play.
it's not
Well-
going to happen again if we do end up playing GeoGuessr. Again, it's not like it'll be synced this time. So yeah, if we have time in this episode towards the end, we might still play one.
No.
Not today?
We won't. No, we won't. But I'm happy to stay on if you want after the podcast and we can play. You can even stream it if you want.
Yeah, I have
but
nothing to do, to be fair.
I feel like for the podcast, let's leave it at a podcast.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Unless we move to
Um,
Twitch going forwards.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do
Because
live
there's,
podcasts.
I mean,
and,
I don't know if we want to go to this, but there's definitely, I swear it's like Pure Football or the Scottish there's a Scottish group podcast called Pure Football, Pure Fitball, whatever the Scottish word
Ugh.
for it is. And I'm pretty sure they
Fitbank.
do all their podcasting on Twitch.
That's interesting.
Do you know what? We like, if we really want to hit the Twitch demographic, though, we're gonna have to start like doing our podcast in like a bath and like, you know, in bikini.
We'd have to have face cams for Twitch. Though. That would be the thing for definitely.
Yeah, we gotta be like really like cam girls. That's what we gotta be like. If you want to get views on Twitch, that's the way we're gonna do it.
That is Artem's opinion. It
TV
does not
streamers.
represent. It does not.
It's not opinion. It's just fact.
Artem. It's like fair enough. I mean, but with
Look.
the podcast, actually, last point is we could actually write whatever this is in the name. Whatever this is, dash Russian football podcast. That might help.
I feel like that a six word thing isn't too long.
No, it's not too long, but at the same time, yeah, we could do it just in brackets or something.
Yeah. Just for the algorithms, right?
Yeah, I think that could be the show. See, like, guys, you think we prepare for our podcasts? We absolutely
We
don't.
do not.
I know anybody who's listened to even one episode knows that. I think actually Hanu, do you think we've planned more than one podcast? I know that for a fact we planned parts of the one with Misha.
No, I think
because it was so
I think we
important.
planned that one. Only that one, because like that was the only podcast I felt stress in. Because Artem was messaging me, "Hey, you go next," and I was like, "Okay, you go next." But this is the question: should we ask that? Should we? And that's never happened in any podcast, right?
But you know why though? Because I was thinking like that morning, shit, we have a match TV commentator on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the most random shit ever. I was like, we are never gonna get any like proper guests after him if he doesn't like.
I can't even
But he
remember
liked
I can't even remember what the podcast even went about. I seem to recall he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get Arshavin on for you." That's the only thing I remember.
Oh yeah.
That's why I love Misha Polanov. By the way, check out the podcast we did with RFN last week. He actually spoke to Arshavin's PR guy and messaged me back like 2 weeks later, and he was like,
Really?
I asked him, yes, but it's like Arshavin doesn't want to speak. I don't know why Arshavin doesn't want to do it. Maybe it's because he doesn't want to speak English for that long. But the man actually went out and spoke to Arshavin's PR agent for this podcast.
That's great.
That's insanity.
Yeah,
like,
That's
fair
amazing.
enough.
Like last week,
No, I think,
Misha
like,
was on RFN last
Misha-
week, right? And James had planned a 45-minute thing. And Misha was like, "Oh yeah, don't worry. If we go over time, I got time." And they had recorded for like an hour and 45 minutes, and most of it was
57.
Misha. And it's like, what a guy!
What a legend.
No, that man, like, he is just such a nice bloke. And it's weird because, like, me and Hanu, like, at the start of the podcast, I remember we had a plan, like, we'd asked him a few commentator questions and stuff like that, and then we just went, like, the usual way. Like, we started asking about the NBA, cause
of course.
and, like, we started talking about, like, the most random shit ever. And he was just down. Like, and I think even when we finished up the podcast, like, I was saying to Hanu, I was like, we should probably finish up. I think that podcast was probably one of our longer ones. Let me check.
Probably was.
118.
1 hour and 18 minutes. So it was longer than the usual episodes anyway. And he was like happy to keep going, but I said to Hanu, I messaged Hanu, I was like, it's probably best if we cut it off because then he can always come back on again. Whereas if we just bore him into the ground with like a 3-hour long conversation, that's it. Like that's all we're gonna get. So, yeah, we might actually ask him to come back on at some point.
We
Hanu,
might,
what's your
yeah. I think the first episode of the rebrand or something. We might. That may be a good place to start actually. So yeah, that's a fair point. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think of the new name. Only in Russia podcast, or only in Russia football podcast, or if you have any other ideas for a name, any ideas for rebranding or whatever. And this week, guys, I am actually willing to discuss the RPL because there was a favorable
God.
result. But we're not going to do that. First, right, I have this amazing news story from the one and only Meta Ratings, right? This is on the front page of their website, and I'm going to read it out to you, okay? So the headline is, cyber football player of FC Sochi lost money after meeting a girl on Tinder. Okay? This is national news.
Okay.
So PES 21 professional football player Anton Shannon, playing for Sochi in the RPL Cyber League, fell victim to a scammer. fairly normal at this point, happens all the time. Artem's probably fallen prey at one point, I don't know. The young man met Anna on the Tinder social network. At the same time, the girl said that she really wants to go to the play. There's some play, some random play, and even threw off the link to buy tickets. There's no scamming going on over here. It's just like buying something for a girl. As soon as Anton followed the link and entered the bank details, money was debited from his card. In response to the cyber football player's claims, Anna said that apparently there was a mistake and offered to contact technical support. So she gave him another link, right? And this is national news. This is a proper article. How much money do you think this guy lost?
Probably €50.
If that, yeah, for the theatre,
There was a
maybe
mistake
€10.
and offered to contact technical support, by clicking on which Shannon lost a combined 50 rubles.
Oh my days.
How is this news?
That's like 5 pence,
Holy
right?
shit. It's about probably 80. I'd
How
say.
is this news? So this isn't even a scam. How do you know she literally might have bought the ticket?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like first of all, when you said the play, like I was kind of like, you know what? It might have been some kind of fancy play that only the ballers in eSports will be able to purchase.
Yeah, no, it's just some like a
but-
theater play, like where you go to just watch it. It's like, I don't know.
It must be a kids play at that price.
I don't remember. This isn't even a scam. Then like the guys at Meta Ratings really must be struggling for news. But that's
Speaking of scams, have you ever watched those YouTube videos? This is completely like off the wall,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever watched those YouTube videos where like people try to scam the scammers?
I do. Yeah, I have watched.
Or like
No.
they just draw it out for like
No, I
months.
I have.
Oh,
I like
so
some of them.
good. There's this guy.
I like some of them.
Hanu, have you ever watched there's a YouTube channel called Atomic Shrimp?
I probably have. I like some of them, but then some of them I don't go too much into it because most of the people being violated are Indian, and I just feel bad.
Yeah, that's honestly fair. No, there's this YouTube guy, Atomic Shrimp. He has some really fucking funny ones where he'll just like drag it on for literally like 3-4 months. Yeah, I know the channel doesn't look like that's what
Yeah,
he does, but that's
exactly.
actually his most popular videos. They're the only ones I watch. But they're dead, and it's so funny because like the scammers get so annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird because they'll keep giving him like deadlines or something. They'll be like, oh yeah, like you have to send us your personal details by Friday, and he's just like, right, well, I'm only gonna get back to them like next Wednesday or something. And, like, like he they just keep giving him more deadlines, and he's just like, he misses every single one of them.
Yeah.
And just fairly humorous, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's a bit mental how much some of these scams actually end up doing. I was reading this book, right, and it was this one fellow from Nigeria, right, one guy, and
Yeah.
this was back in like 1990s or something, and he scammed a
Yeah.
Brazilian bank out of $242 million. He was talking about, oh, we're gonna, like, he impersonated some Nigerian official, and they were like, oh, you know what, we're gonna build an airport in this city, and so on and so forth. And the guy got caught in his home with like 5 Ferraris, some gold-plated stuff. Like, surely if you're a scammer, you've done the hard part. Just live in peace.
You know what I don't understand? It's like, where, like, for example, with that, I know that technology wasn't the same as it is now, and these scams were probably only new in the 90s, but, like, as a Brazilian bank, surely there's, like more of a procedure of due diligence or something more, like, that something like that wouldn't happen. Like, how are you just going to give money to some random guy who's saying he's building an
It
airport?
was because the story was that the official who was in charge of the Brazilian bank, he was like a proper banker and they respected him. So, and
Yeah.
this guy supposedly met with Nigerian officials and just went along with it. So he just got fooled.
Oh my days.
And then, like,
But
it was mad.
that's not just an old problem. This reminds me of what you sent to me during the week, Hanu, about Guelo Kanga.
Oh my god, that was beautiful. Artem, you know Goel Orkanga?
Former
Yeah.
Rostov.
Okay, so yeah, former Rostov, currently Red Star Belgrade. So he's internationally plays for Gabon, but
Mm-hmm.
the Congolese Football Federation proved to the African football body that this guy is actually 35 years old, 5 years older than he says, and from Congo. And this guy has gone through his entire football career being a Gabonese man named Goel Orkanga, played in the Champions League. Like,
Yeah.
that's mad, isn't it?
That's crazy, but you know what? Like, it's weird that stuff like that actually has to happen because, like, I feel like all of that obviously happens because players say that they're younger than they are because then they look like they're better players. But at the end of the day, if they're good enough to play at the level, why should it matter if they're like 28 or 30 at the towards that stage of their career? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they only did it out of spite so that Congo would get banned or something. But yeah, it's just rude. I wouldn't do that. Like, appreciate the hustle.
But you do. I gotta respect it. To be fair. Do you ever see the? This is once again just random ass shit. Like, I'm sure, David, have you ever seen like the border control things on British telly?
Yeah,
Like the airport
yeah, not for years, but yeah, I've seen one of those kind of shows before.
Like, it's so funny to watch those because there'll be like African men who are clearly like 30 or 40, but like, I'm 12. And then there was one point that was like, oh, this is like probably 2012 or something. It was like, what, like when did you finish? Like, what school do you go to? And he said some school. It's like, oh, like when did you start going there? And the guy was like, 1990. I mean 2011. But like, because they don't have any proof, it's like,
Yes, you can say anything and they can't prove otherwise.
There was another headline in Turkey, and it was about this second division club fighting for relegation, and it's like Akhisar Sports signed a player in their relegation battle. Turns out he's not a real footballer. They just signed him. It was some Nigerian bloke. So
I don't understand how that can happen either. Like, this isn't like the days of Ali. Like, okay, even Ali Dia was ridiculous, but like,
because
a Google search.
generally.
It'll just be one of those
like,
dudes who messages you on Twitter, and they probably just fallen for it.
I think that's what
Tunji
that's
David.
what, that's what Dimitri Seluk has made a career out of, though, because the guy didn't have any prior experience. But you look at the Nigerians and stuff that Dimitri Seluk brings across; they have no experience either, and some of them turn out to be decent footballers. So I guess I just signed a guy like that because he was only 21 or something. So you just.
How pissed would you be if you're a Turkish guy living in whatever city they're from? You've worked your whole life to become a footballer, and some shit like this happens.
That would be pretty annoying. Although, I don't know. That's why we need the foreigner limit, Artem, to prevent scamming.
I'm not sure that's where I was going with this
That's where you're
conversation.
going. Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit.
But yeah, I don't know. 18 minutes into this podcast, let's actually start talking about things that matter. The Russian Premier Liga, week 27.
Let's go from one scam to
Let's
another.
go from one scam to another. Ural Akhmat, nobody cares. Zenit 6-0 rotor. Artem, what do you think?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the highlights of Zenit, but I didn't actually watch the game. Like, it looked like probably the most comfortable game of the season.
Uh-huh.
Not much else to say about that. I'm not gonna lie, the only game I actually watched was Spartak against CSKA this weekend.
Good choice. I think that's probably the only game I watched as well. What do you guys think the chances of Spartak winning the league?
0.
No, no.
There aren't
No,
chances.
there is mathematically there's still a chance. It's there.
But realistically,
well-
there isn't.
I know it's not realistic.
Hanu.
I'm asking. I know it's not gonna happen. I'm asking, like, what are the chances? One.
No, but the chances are 0.0001, which just
That's
rounds
a
down to
chance.
0. It's
You
not
have
a
to-
chance because Zenit need 1 point.
Yeah, you need the odds of them losing 3 games and the odds of you winning 3 games. And Lokomotiv
Exactly.
to lose at least one of their games. So you've got to take at least 7 matches, times all those odds together. It's going to be millions to 1.
Hang on as well. You've got to remember that Zenit are playing against Lokomotiv this weekend. So, like,
Unless that's a draw.
one way
yeah.
or another,
I believe.
Yeah, exactly. One way or another. No, because if it's a draw, then Spartak are out of the race.
Yeah,
because
then that's not good. But
You get what I mean? So,
probably a
like,
draw would be the best thing for. No, it wouldn't actually. Zenit win would be the best thing for Spartak.
Who's got the best head-to-head record out of you and Loco?
wait.
Because Loco, if they drew, Loco would have to. If they drew, Zenit are then 9 points ahead of you, right?
No, Zenit have won the league. Let's not. I don't care. I'm just joking. But if Zenit win, then that's good for us. We can leapfrog Loco into second.
No.
You could sneak second still, but first it's not on the table for.
Yeah, second.
If Loco beats Zenit, that would be interesting because what Zenit still got to play. I want to say Ufa. Have they got to play Ufa still?
You rate
Yeah,
Ufa
I
for
think
no
Ufa.
reason. Ufa and Tambov.
Tambov, they're gonna smash obviously, but Ufa are like playing decent at the moment.
Tambov actually,
Under
Dave,
their new manager.
Tambov actually I think had more XT than Loco. Like Tambov were properly competitive even though they lost 5-2.
I reckon Zenit have a chance to lose against Tambov. This could be the last Tambov game
In
in
history.
history.
They might be.
So
It's, Smolov scoring again. Shout out Smolov Artem. Smolov should be in the Russian national team for the Euros battle. And
I don't know who's gonna debate that.
Stanislav Cherchesov is going to debate that probably. And I think he's going to have a banging tournament if he goes. This is
I hope so.
This is prime Smolov we're seeing here. The type of football he's playing right now is a bit mad.
Him and Kukoviak are in great form.
Yeah, him, Kriko, everyone, man. Loco is just playing like Champions League winners at this point. 11 games without even a
11
draw.
wins.
11 wins in 11. Yuri Semin rotting away. Love to see it. And what else you want to discuss this week? You want to discuss the main game, Artem? Finally, the big game.
The big game, as in the derby.
Yes.
I don't think it was the best game of the week, but like
What was?
it was probably the biggest.
It
Right?
was definitely the biggest. I think.
I think Sochi Ufa was.
Yeah,
okay.
It
you
was a
actually
great game.
watched
I
that
actually
game.
watched.
Forgot to mention. I watched a little bit.
Yeah, I
of
watched
that
that
actually.
one. It was
Yeah.
all second half Ufa. Like Sochi robbed it off them. Like at the end, they scored like from their first 2 shots of the game. Then had a man sent off just before half time. Then second half it was literally all Ufa. And then they go and get a penalty in the last minute off a lucky handball.
I think.
It was a
the
sickener.
stats don't
Like
lie.
Ufa scored 8 goals in 3 games.
Look at
8
that.
goals in 3 games, right? And before that, they'd scored 15 the entire season.
Fair enough. I think Sochi might fall apart next season if they don't have a proper window. And I worry that they're not going to have a proper window because Fedotov's going to trust these bums too much. But like he's a great manager, but I just feel like they need a lot more. That Dugancic guy is a good player, but he's not really played too much. Rudenko looks like he's alright, but I think he's on loan.
How much
It's
longer
like-
is Noboa going to keep it up as well? Like,
Exactly. How Novo's old. All of these guys are 30 plus. Like, it's not good.
every name on the Sochi side there: Prokyan, Zabolotny, Noboa, Salagov, all ex-Zenit players.
We've been knew that since.
Oh yeah, we knew that. Yeah,
They're like 11, 12 ex-Sochi players, ex-Zenit players. Artem, who would you like more to see? That doesn't make sense. Who would you rather see in Europe, Sochi or CSKA?
We got a 4-way race right now. 4 teams on 46 points.
Sochi, of course, but the thing is, there's a lot of other teams I prefer to watch.
Yeah,
even
of
more
course.
than Sochi.
But if Ruben and Dinamo dropped
Like-
off, and it was only between Sochi and CSKA,
But why are Ruben and Dinamo dropping off when
it's a,
they're on the same amount
it's a
of points?
hypothetical.
But why are we making hypotheticals that aren't like?
Have fun.
That's what I don't understand. Like this is first of all, it's a 4-horse race, right, for this 4th spot, and then there's a potential 5th. Hopefully, Korea take that 5th spot, but it's still there essentially. Like,
I think this 5
So-
is perfect actually.
actually, what happens if Lokomotiv get into Champions League and win the cup? Does it go to 3rd place then? The
Yeah,
Europa League.
let's go big up.
Yeah, and then
Right.
4th and 5th will be conference. So yeah, at this point, obviously, it's only top 4. If Korea win the cup, it's just the top 4. So,
Yeah.
Personally, I definitely would like to see Ruben in there, obviously. and I would probably not mind seeing Dinamo have another go at it. After they disappointed us this year, but
They've been
CSKA
a
have
bit
disappointed
rocky
us for the
though.
last two. I think
Yeah,
CSKA with this season out of Europe would do them good, a bit like Krasnodar. Had to take a season out, rebuild, focus solely on the league, and then come back and take over Loco and Spartak.
It's not going to happen.
I'm not sure that I think that if CSKA have Olic next
Oh,
season,
They're going to be worse. They're going to be
I
worse.
think they're going down.
They are.
They're
They're
so
so
bad.
bad. Exactly.
They are
Artem's
terrible.
right. It's because I think Artem during the winter break when we were talking about the league, we were like Zenit, Spartak, CSK are definitely going to get Europe.
Yeah, we
Under
100%
Gonchenko, they were going to win the league. At that, there was a point where they were playing like they were going to win the league. I think they were even top of the table at some point. But I've never seen any club. We talk about the new manager bounce. This is like a new manager tumble. I've never seen a manager come in and the club regresses this terribly. Nikola Vlasic is terrible now. He was invisible against Spartak. He's not done anything memorable. Like, they don't have...
The craziest part is that Olic was brought in kind of with the understanding that, he's Croatian and Vlasic is Croatian. You know, like, they're from the same country, they'll kind of be able to understand each other. It looks like they're not even speaking the same language. Like, I don't think that... Like, I don't think they understand each other at all. It seems like Olic is coming in and... Like, I don't know what his tactics are. I think he must be just making them up on the spot. Like, half time he's watching Tifo football, trying to pick a formation. Like, it's absolutely, it's just ridiculous. And they were so bad against Spartak as well at the weekend. Like, just they never looked like they were going to be the team to win.
It's honestly really bad. Like, we talk about PE teacher managers. I told this to I think both Artem and David probably. It's like people say, "Oh, Frank Lampard, PE teacher." Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, PE teacher. This is a legitimate PE teacher. This guy is awful.
Is that a thing that started in England? Because I feel like that's been like a slag in Russia for like 10 years now.
What's the Russian word for it? I remember seeing it. Someone got called a glorified PE teacher. I can't remember which.
Cherchesov. It was Cherchesov. CSK called him that in his. In
their statement. That's right. I can't remember what the word was, but yeah, they did.
And they launched another statement this weekend, by the way, and it was just a shot at like journalists and insiders and so on. It was like, "There's nothing wrong at our club. There's no right." So CSK's press team is working more than their actual footballers.
Tambov haven't won since October, by the way. I just went and had a look.
Not surprising.
Not good. And Rotor's only win this year was against Tambov.
It was it? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that one game where your man played well, the Georgian fellow.
That was a replay.
Now, Artem and David, I have a question for you guys. I think it's going to be a tough one, right? Name some players, can be however many you want, that would be in your player of the fall or player of the autumn. That's not the spring. Sorry, we don't have the spring in India, so I get those two mixed up. Player of the spring contenders, because I feel like it's going to be a lot different to what we had in the autumn. So, Artem, who do you think is in that list? Player of 2021 so far in Russian football.
I don't know. Like, first of all, the first kind of team that I'd be looking at players from is Lokomotiv, because obviously their run. Like you mentioned earlier, Fyodor Smolov has been fantastic, but I don't know if he's been the best player of this second half of the season. I feel like there's been more disappointments than there has been players coming out and doing better. Like,
fair, yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one. Like, for example, like Vlasic, for example, right? He was so good before Christmas, and after Christmas he hasn't been really great.
He's still going to go in the summer, though, let's be honest.
Yeah, he should.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, and he should.
Oh yeah,
he absolutely deserves to, and hopefully they'll get a good fee from him. But like, I don't know. Like, I genuinely can't think of a player who really stands out to me from these last few months. What about you, David?
I had the four names come to head straight away: Krakowiak, Smolov, and then Kvicha, Makarov from Rubin, because they've been let's be honest, those have been the two form teams this this spring.
Yeah.
Like I obviously excluding Zenit, because Zenit just sort of, I don't think they've had a standout really. Zenit.
Yeah,
They just
exactly.
they go through just winning games, sometimes comfortably, sometimes not so comfortably, but they've not had a standout.
Yeah.
Whereas Krakowiak, Smolov,
Mhm.
I'll say Kamano just to make Hanu happy.
Exactly. No, Kamano.
Mhm.
Regardless of my happiness, I feel like Kamano has a legit shout to be in there.
Yeah, I think
Because
Krakowiak would be my number one still.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd be tempted
good
with
option.
Dupin. Dupin saved us. He saved 2 penalties for us and won us 2 games already this spring as well. And he's up for player. He's up for player of the
You know
month
what?
this month, I think too.
You know why I kind like I had Kvicha in my head. I was kind of like with now him being injured for the last
Yeah.
4 games of the season. I feel like okay, it's up to this point obviously, so he is in there for the show. But come the end of the season, because of because of missing the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. I mean, they keep saying, oh, he might be back for the last game, but that's like,
It's not going to count.
it's 2.5 weeks' time. If he's back for it, then that's cool. At least we get Makarov back for this week.
What do you think are the chances of him staying in the league this summer?
Kvicha.
Yeah.
10%.
If you'd asked me that over the winter break, I'd have said pretty high. We liked him, but I wasn't sure if it was going to happen this summer for him.
It was the 2 games against Greece and Spain.
It was the international break really did it seem to propel him.
So now
Say, look, this guy's over here. He's really good.
he's
So now I'm not
become
sure. It's the money though. It's the money because they what were they? The story was that Rubin knocked back 15 mil from Loco last summer, a year after Locos let him go for free.
Yeah. I think 2025 they're going to sell him. I think
It would have to
Simon
be
Olsen
that
said
much.
at one point. Yeah.
But
I
if
think that'd
it's
be-
whether a club will cough up that much, that'll be
Oh,
the
yeah,
only stop. That'll be
definitely
the
cough
only
up
thing to stop.
Nah,
anyone.
for sure. You have like so many discussions. I think the hype is so much. He's one of those players that, regardless of his worth, he's going to go for that much simply because of the hype.
Oh, I mean the hype's
And-
there, but it's the the pandemic and the financial
pandemic-
struggles right
Pandemic's a
now.
fraud and no one cares. But yeah, I think for my players of the spring, because I was thinking about this, and it's like usually you resist the idea of a player of like dividing it between spring and autumn. You feel like it's a player of the season rather than these two things. But I feel like the players that have done well this time have been so different to the ones that did well previously. So I think Kamano, Krakowiak, Smolov, and probably even Pablo are proper shouts. I feel like Kvicha has been the same player, very good, but the hype has just made it so that he's being rated really highly. Makarov, yes, and then I probably think Zakarian and Tukavin.
Yeah, I thought about Zakarian. I would also potentially, as much as I hate to say it, I would give a shout to Mirzov. I think he's been really good.
And Sobolev, by the way. Sobolev's been great this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
he
true.
has been, yeah.
Sobolev,
Zakarian and Tukavin, I wasn't so sure about. Tukavin would be the lower down of the two. Zakarian would be the more likely to be picked. But I think Krakowiak would win it for me still. Like for a guy who's was brought up and played a lot of his career as a centre mid. Like
yeah.
he's on some outrageous form.
He is, and he's had a wild career. Sevilla, PSG, West Brom.
Yeah, West Brom, and he was dross in England. I seem to recall. Like
Yeah, he was. And that's the thing I don't like is that football media, the football world sort of judges players by how good they were in England. So they do that with Choupo-Moting. Just because he played at Stoke, he's supposed to be a meme for the rest of his life. But he was good at Schalke before that.
And that's it. Well, then now, if we told West Brom fans, oh yeah, Krakowiak scored 20 goals in his last 2 seasons, they'd be like, yeah, but it's only in Russia or something.
It was
like that.
exactly. It was with Renato Sanchez as well. He went to Swansea for a season. It was dreadful.
Yeah.
And now look at him. He's proper good again. That's a good point, Renato Sanchez. Actually, Artem, we have been keeping track of League One. Shout out Hull City as well. By the way, got promotion. They're also in League One, different League One, but still.
I was thinking for a second there when you said we've been looking at League One. I was like, we have, yeah. And they're telling me that you're talking about League One, like Kai's League One.
Yeah, I'm talking about League One. Golovin has COVID.
Ligue
again,
Yeah, he's got COVID.
which
Yeah.
is always injured.
always out injured.
Yeah,
He's been great this year though, right? He's picked up like a ton of assists and goals.
Very, very good.
He's got 8 assists, 4 goals so far in
Very,
Liga.
very good.
I think in the cup he may have some contributions.
It's good to see that. It's good to see.
Who do you guys want to? Who do you guys think should win? I want Monaco, obviously. I even did an FM save with them.
I want Monaco so.
I love Monaco, honestly, as a club.
Just as long as it's not PSG, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Lille either. Because
I know Monaco have obviously got the money, and we support them also because of Golovin. So yeah, that would be the preference. Golovin to score the winner on the last day or something if he recovers from COVID in time.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Honestly, like I feel like if he wins the league with Monaco, like I was saying this to Hanu, I think that then his move to Monaco above whoever he was linked to as well, he was linked to Chelsea and a few other clubs, is well justified. And then I feel like that's a good like almost stepping stone for him to move on to something even better.
I think PSG might sign him actually. I really think
that would be really interesting.
Because PSG sign worse players than Monaco. I mean, not Monaco, Golovin every year. PSG have like Danilo Pereira, Rafinha from PSG, not PSG, Barcelona. I can't speak today for some reason. But I feel like he's one of those players that they could sign, and he'd do well because we know he's proven in the league, and at least I think this will be the first year that Golovin's going to play in Europe since 17-18, since he moved. Yeah. Which is going to be massive. They're going to be in the Champions League, so that's great.
I think he's had a good enough season that his stock has risen, and therefore granted, if anyone wanted to buy him, it would cost him 30 mil probably minimum. But I think that he would be a viable option now. I think he's had a good enough season that he'd be a viable purchase option to other clubs, which is good.
I think Monaco said 50.
Oh really? That's still. I mean, that is a lot.
I'm pretty sure the owner came out and said 50.
But I think it would be something they would consider rather than before, where it was sort of, he's unproven or whatever.
He's only still 24, 25, isn't
he? Yeah.
Not a long time to go.
I was watching CSKA uploaded on Instagram all 10 goals scored by Georgi Shenikov ever for the club. And one of them was assisted by a young Golovin, and it's like, I was like, damn, how do we not rate this guy high? We rated him, but I don't think we quite realised when he was that young, how good he was. It was before he was number 17. It was he had his old number 60 on still. I was like, damn, he was so good when he was number 60. The little shimmy and cross that he done was great.
I know this was a little bit later on than that. Obviously, he'd been called up for the national team. But you remember on his first game for the national team, he scored that volley as well.
Him and Chernov were in the squad, weren't they? I think both got randomly called up by. Yeah. Was it Capello who called him up?
No, I think it was past.
No, Capello. I don't know. I'm a fraud.
Left in 2014. No, it was Slutsky. You know why? It was one of Slutsky's.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Friendlies, I think, or something like that. I remember that game. I remember Miranchuk played as well. I think he scored too.
2015 against Belarus.
Miranchuk scored at the weekend as well. Shout out. Even though Gasperini is still a fraud.
And what's going on with Anton right now, by the way? You just can't even get in the team. And I guess it's just because Nikolic doesn't want to disrupt the flow.
Yeah. But
it's mad considering we know how good he is.
The thing with that is Nikolic has made Kamano, Rifat, Kulikov. He has made everyone into a serious player. Imagine what he can do with Anton Miranchuk. He's reaching Alexei levels and then getting another big transfer. Atlanta are second in the league, by the way.
I was gutted a bit that Anton hasn't played as much, because I was now that Alexei's gone, Anton, this was his chance to step up, and there's been even debate over the last couple of years, are they as good as each other? Is Anton even better? He's just had such a nothing season. I think he was injured for a bit, and now he's been out of the team just because other players are on form. And it's such a shame, because if he'd had a decent season, and Alexei's done decently enough, you sort of feel that he could have gone and got a foreign transfer, but it's just not going to happen.
I think he still has a chance. I feel like Cherchesov will still call him up for the national team, because he's so good for the national team. I feel of the two brothers, Anton has always shown up more. When it comes to play for Russia, I'm pretty sure he has more goals and assists than Alexei. So I feel if they would do well in the Euros, Anton probably would be a big part of it. So I feel like he'll still get a move if that happens.
Golovin already has more goals for Monaco than he did for CSKA in less appearances.
Really?
According to
That's
Wiki,
nice.
he had 10
Because he had
73
that
for
mad
Monaco.
run, didn't he? He scored about 4 in a game, and then got 3
He's
assists.
got a
in the
hat.
next
Yeah, he
game
scored a
or something.
hattie, didn't he? I'm sure.
Went insane in that game.
Yeah.
He scored 10 in 73 for Monaco, 9 and 81 for CSKA.
Wait, Mikhail Ignatov is going to be eligible for the U21s, isn't he?
Yep.
That's big. That's a big player there.
Yeah, it's
Big.
weird. I don't know. Obviously, he's got some obviously off the pitch issues. Like I've chatted
Does
to
he?
people about him before, and they're like saying, he's needs the drive, to play, and that's why he sort of because he made his debut for Spartak like 2-3 years ago now, and scored on his debut as well. And then he's just not been near the team really again. But he's so good still.
I think he's also in mine and Artem's freshest players list. I think he makes
Can I just I read a story this week. It was an interview actually with Timur Ayupov. I don't know if you know him. He plays for Orenburg.
Of course, I do.
And it was an interview about him because he's got a very successful Instagram account, and he is studying business at university alongside his career. And it was talking about how that he was brought up in the Netherlands because his dad played for FC Twente. And I was like,
I didn't know that.
that's weird. So I was like, looked at who this guy was, his dad, and it was a non-Russian. Like this guy never played for Russia internationally, never played internationally for any nation, but he was Russian, and went to Twente for 3 seasons. And just like that kind of like imagine like a non-international Russian going to play in the Eredivisie now. Like
That would be great. I want to see so much.
I'd love that to happen. It obviously used to happen. Like I've never heard of this guy, but he played for 3 years and. In the early 90s in the Eredivisie.
Yeah, I think it's gonna start happening because I feel like the talent in Russia is so much, and people are gonna start seeing that now. With likes of Kvicha, likes of Miranchuk, Eldor. Shout out Eldor, got a goal the weekend.
Big up Eldor. I want to see Zinki. We want to see Zinki go.
Yeah,
obviously.
obviously.
Like if he'd
And
gone
he
to
would-
Vitesse, that would have been big.
Because the thing that Eredivisie have done now is that they've discovered Greece as a market. So I think the top scorer in the Eredivisie is a guy from Greece. He plays for. His name is Yakumakis. I'm gonna see what club he plays for.
Plays for Venlo, I think, doesn't he? I think VV Venlo.
Yeah, plays for Venlo. He's got 24 goals. Then there's another Greek fella who's got mad goals. So Greek clubs have at least discovered. Yeah, Pavlidis. He's got 9 goals. He plays for Utrecht. And now another Greek club has signed this guy who plays for a lower table Greek club, and I don't think he's capped internationally. So it just takes a couple of clubs to find that market. I think that's why Kokorin went to Fiorentina, even though that's completely flopped. Artem, you want to give your 2 pence on that?
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak too soon, but I think he's going to be sold in the summer.
Yeah.
To Juventus.
Well, I think if anyone's going to go, it'd be that Vlahovic guy. Like he's been linked to all the big clubs right now.
To be fair, it's not even.
He's a great
He
player.
does look good. I saw a goal he
Like-
scored yesterday, and it was like, oh wow, that was like an insane goal.
Yeah, like me and Hanu were just talking about him the other day. Like he there's no wonder Kokorin's not getting a game.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even to do with
Is it-
forget that he's got like some small injuries here and there and stuff like
I
that.
think
It's,
they're in 2 months.
Vlahovic has been unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to him. And I don't even know why. I think that tells you that agents and stuff are still pretty messed up. Why would you need another striker when you've got that guy and Frank Ribery
I-
and another
I don't
guy?
think he was doing as well as he is now. I think at the point Kokorin got signed, he only had like a couple of goals or something in the season. I'm willing to be corrected, but I think that's the reason.
Maybe
And you always need a backup as well, like obviously.
Yeah, but I think where does Kokorin go from here out? If it flops at Fiorentina,
Juventus.
okay.
They need a rebuild after not winning the league this season.
And Kvicha's gonna start it off.
He's just, no, Kvicha on the right hand side or the left hand side, I don't care. And Kokorin in the middle. Ronaldo can sit on the bench.
Fair enough. Juventus are trash. Pirlo is
Yeah.
also a PE teacher.
So is
But
your
yeah,
man from Kazakhstan, whatever his name is.
Who's my man from Kazakhstan?
your man's from Kazakhstan, who was like at Leipzig in the past,
Yeah, he's actually
a PE
he's
teacher.
Belarusian. He actually looks like a PE teacher, like one of them young PE teachers that are doing their degree or something. And it's funny because Kairat have actually started the season pretty terribly, so people are calling for him to be sacked, even though he won them their first league in God knows how long last year. But no, that guy is the real deal in my opinion. He's gonna be big.
Shiplovsky.
Yeah, Shikolowski. Um, but yeah, we're 45 minutes in, and I think we've had enough of football. We'll talk about the Champions League. Artem, who's winning tonight, and what's the final looking like for you?
Did you just say we've had enough football? Let's go to the Champions
Yes.
League.
Yeah, Champions League's not football. It's just like it's like
It's
a bit-
dramatized
It's
business.
a business. It's against modern football and all that nonsense.
Well, I want the good guys PSG to
Fair
win.
enough.
I think, like, I watched the first half of the game yesterday, the Real game. The second half, I heard was
awful.
shit, so I'm glad I turned it off.
second half.
But yeah, like, I want the final of Chelsea against PSG, and I want PSG to win it. But I wouldn't be too annoyed if Chelsea won it either, because I like Tuchel, I like some of their players. So, and of course, it's another Champions League win for Roman Abramovich. So
Fair enough. I mean, I don't like that. I want Real Madrid to win. And I think
nah, Real Madrid is the last team out of all those 4 teams I want to win.
Timo Werner is worse than Ali Sau. Timo Werner Artem was awful yesterday. He is always awful. Like we would have been 5-0 down if it wasn't for Timo Werner missing every chance that came his way. Benzema, by the way, what a player. Easily a top 10,
He's
top
great.
5 player in the
He's
world.
great.
Insane. But Timo Werner is bad. Timo Werner is really bad. David, what do you think of the Champions League? Who do you... And you've actually got a Europa League semi-final yourself tomorrow, haven't you?
Yeah, against big
Unai
man
Emery.
Unai. I want City to win tonight, just for Zinchenko, basically. Imagine, right? City win the whole thing, and we say the guy who used to play for Ufa's won the Champions League
The guy used
I
to
think-
play in the
in the Moscow region.
Wait,
6-a-side league.
Seven-a-side
I
league.
think we
Yeah.
actually asked that on one of our episodes or maybe it was one of our calls. Who do you think is the RPL player most likely to win the Champions League or something like that? Champions League, World Cup, Euro, something like that. And Zinchenko would be a mad shout because you would think it's Vlasic or someone, but Zinchenko.
Yeah, I mean Zinchenko's been just fantastic for City. I love him so much,
Yeah.
and he like, for someone who's not a left back, like, he's just put his head down and worked hard for everything he's gone. Like, he deserves to be in that team more than anyone. Like, he's such a hard worker, and like he has flashes of brilliance for City as well.
Why can't more clubs do that? Just pick a lad out of UFA and then he's playing for Man City week in, week out.
He's even played a couple of games in midfield this season, hasn't he? Which is like, it's taken 4 years or however many
But-
years he's been there.
Yeah. I think PSG.
I think it's been 4 years because he came in at the same time. as
2016,
Guardiola,
it was
I
after
think.
Euro 16, wasn't it? So almost
Um,
5 years. But then his first year was at PSV.
Yeah, and they won. Yeah, in his time at
He was at PSV as well.
City, he's won four.
Yeah, he's won 4 in a row. Yeah, he played a season alone at PSV Eindhoven.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
But I think PSG are going to win because I think Pep's going to overthink it again, and I think he already has. He's playing like the Goncharenko style with 6 midfielders. No striker. It's Phil Foden, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. And mainly, I feel like Keylor Navas is going to show up once again. And I think it's going to be PSG, Real Madrid. Have you guys seen that tweet, by the way, which was like a couple of years ago when Barcelona and Ajax were almost in the final? And it's like this classic Hall of Fame football Twitter tweet where this was these two idiots, like, for Johan Cruyff's memory, Barcelona and Ajax will hold hands in the final and share the trophy. And it's been a huge meme ever since. So we're going to do that with Keylor Navas. It's just gonna happen. And Artem, I genuinely believe Keylor Navas is the best goalkeeper in the world. None of that Neuer nonsense.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's definitely up there
Thank
now.
you.
I have to agree. I think Neuer has not been like Neuer on his day back in his heyday in like
for
the
sure.
early 2010s was like by far and away the best. Then De Gea had his time. All Black had a shout in there at one point.
Yeah.
But I honestly I think Keylor Navas is definitely up there.
Thank you. I feel validated.
But do you know who is better though?
Josip Kondric.
No, Darren Randolph.
What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy. Does he start for Ireland?
No, not anymore. I think he retired actually.
Who was Ireland's goalkeeper? Oh,
No.
Queen. Is it Queen?
I was going to say, isn't it Bazunu,
Yeah,
or is he not starting yet?
Bazunu started the last game, I think, and Creevin Callagher is the other one.
No Irish goalkeeper will ever top Shea Given.
Big Shay.
Big.
Don't know. Creevin Callagher's already won a
Yeah, but
Champions League
you
medal.
forgot about Paddy Kenny.
Never heard
Oh,
of him. But
oh!
Premier League. If
What
you
a
watch the
player.
Premier League, in
Sheffield
our youth,
United's best.
you'd know Paddy Kenny.
Reading's best.
Did he
This
play
is
for
the most Irish
Did he
name
play for
possible,
Palace
isn't it?
as well? I want to say he
Paddy
played for
Kenny.
Palace.
I think
honestly,
he
you
did.
know what?
No,
I
he
remember
didn't.
him at Reading and Sheffield.
Keep-
They-
QPR.
They did the
QPR
Premier
for a
League
while.
Hall of Fame. I think we need to just talk about Premier League players like these memes.
Paddy Kenny is a Premier League meme. I want to say he used to wear trousers for a bit as well, a bit like the Hungarian
He
guy.
did.
Jose
Yeah.
Bozingua,
Bosingua.
the Ferreira guy that Chelsea had, who also won the Champions League.
Paulo Ferreira.
Ryan-
Yeah.
Ryan Bertrand started in the Champions League final. Who else? Ricky Lambert
Playing for Liverpool.
played for Liverpool. Great at Southampton, I believe. And then
Julio Baptista, Real Madrid legend.
Yeah, yes, that's the name.
Dave
Dave
Kitson.
Kitson, the poshest footballer going.
No, surely that's Patrick Bamford.
Dave Kitson's proper posh. Like there was rumours that he was the undercover footballer. I think.
Mm.
I think that was true
I
though,
don't
wasn't
know.
it? Or at least
I just remember him from Reading,
Dave
Ginger
Kitson.
Man. Because obviously
Ooh.
I used to go to a load of Reading games when I was a kid.
Jeez, he loves stripes, doesn't he?
Do you remember good old Ian Hart?
I don't, unfortunately. I mainly remember.
Our team will know Ian Hart, Irish legend.
I do know Ian Hart. Oh no, do you know who's has to be in the Hall of Fame? Rory Delap.
Yeah, of course. That's an
Yeah.
obvious one though.
yeah.
It's like Jolion Lescott, what a player. Martin Demichelis,
I've got a shout
No,
for
do you
you.
know what?
Titus Bramble.
what a guy.
Oh
What a name.
yes.
He was the worst
I've got-
defender for about 4 years in a row and still didn't not get dropped by his teams.
Sylvain Deston.
My oh my god, do you remember he retired from France without playing a game?
Then there's these obvious like Hat.
My goalkeeper for the Premier League is Phil Jagielka.
Shout out Phil Jagielka. My choice would be Vito Manon.
Vito
Manone.
Is he at Monaco now? Or is he in the MLS?
Yeah, I don't know how he is. No, he's at Monaco. But if you look at Vito Manon, right, he would be the perfect casting choice for a gangster movie. He would be the best right hand man to Robert De Niro ever. Look at him, man. He is the most mobster looking person in the world, and I say that with like the greatest intent. What a guy.
My
Adel
favourite
Tarapt.
keeper is UC Jääskeläinen.
Oh,
Oh,
That
my
OG Bolton
God,
team
dude.
was
Oh
so
my
good, and
God.
Jääskeläinen was always
Oh my god, that Bolton team was
Like-
amazing. Do you remember Big Sam and Elka?
Anelka. They had the Greek guy with the bald head, Giannakopoulos, who would always score all the time.
Kevin Nolan played for them
Andronic
as well.
Timorian. They had some great
Oh.
Johan Amanda scoring one of the all-time GOAT Premier League goals there as well. Bolton had
That's-
some absolute
They were
classy
the
players
days.
at times.
that wild.
They were the days of like pre-match attacks. Like you're talking like the days of like football stickers in the Premier League. They
Oh
were the
yeah, football
days.
stickers. I never
They
had
were the-
matches.
that was the best era.
For that. It was stickers. when I
No,
was a
but
kid.
you know what? That's why I feel bad about Premier League, because I feel like it's too. There's no memes in the Premier League anymore.
Yeah,
like-
the small clubs, like Jääskeläinen played for Bolton for for ages. Like how many games he played? 474 games for Bolton.
Yeah, but it's like
And it's like there's no goalie, there's no player at like a mid-level team who is that iconic now. Like, I feel
exactly, or not even that exciting. Like Saint Maximin is the only player people bring up, and Sheffield United should be a meme, but they're just so Brexit that you can't name 5 Sheffield United players. You can't do that. They're all the same. They're all the same people.
No, David, I've got one from you. Right, Robert Earnshaw.
Have you seen his Twitter account?
No.
He's like a big, massive conspiracy theorist.
Oh, like Odomungi.
Oh my god, him and Peter Odobwingie,
He's
they should be mates.
Oh no, is he conspiracy theorist or is he like? I can't remember which way he goes. He's either a conspiracy theorist or like an inspiration. He might be an inspirational figure.
I think every conspiracy theorist is.
I think I may have seen that. Yeah.
But look at that QPR team.
Yeah, he's like inspirational guy.
The QPR team, which had Julio Cesar, it had Nedum Onowa, Anton Ferdinand, and they've got so many nationalities, which is also mad. They've got 2
They had Rio.
They had
as well.
Rio.
Yeah,
They had
for a
Rio.
bit.
They had Fabio from United.
John Terry racially abused Anton Ferdinand, and then everyone just forgot about it.
Stefan Mbia.
Do you remember they signed Remy?
Yes.
Because he was good on FIFA.
Remy was in this team. Esteban Granero was in this team, which I didn't know.
Look, Remy had some good seasons in the Premier League. In
Adel
fairness, Tarak was like QPR icon. I never liked QPR. They were terrible.
But now we had some proper gems in the Premier League.
Do you remember that? You might not remember this, Artem. Michael Richards on his debut scored for Man City. And afterwards, he was like obviously just a kid. And afterwards, they interviewed him on BBC, and he swore like just went into this big swearing rant about how happy he was on live TV without even thinking about it. It was great. And obviously now he's a pundit.
I don't think I watched that live. I feel like I've seen the clip though.
Oh, I always wanted us to sign Jaskalainen, man. What a guy.
I think the last team to truly exude that sense of prime Barclays banter was the Leicester City team. But the season before they won the Premier League, or even that Premier League team, because they had Esteban Cambiaso, Danny Simpson, obviously what a player. Then they had Shinji Okazaki, Uloa, and then it's like a lot of really good players. But they had some proper memes in there. Marco Marin, there's another one.
Yeah, Marco.
Who was used to like Charlton.
I feel like I don't know. Like I wouldn't really, like I wouldn't never get nostalgic about like the season Leicester won the league or anything, but I'd get nostalgic about watching Bolton against Aston Villa back in 2005. Like, oh my days! Remember Aston Villa were so good. Do you remember Ashley Young was one of the best wingers in the world?
Yeah.
Bolton were Arsenal's bogey team. Like they would beat us every time we played them for like a good 3 or 4 seasons, and it was all because of Big Sam, obviously. How old? When were you born, Artem? I'm trying to think. Like you're like
87.
So I'm trying to think. Like, do you remember Charlton? Like Kevin Lisby, Jason Ewell, all those guys. I used to love Charlton.
I watched Charlton in like the last few seasons that they were in the Premier League. I was so upset when they got relegated. They're one of the teams that I've always looked down.
Yeah, same. I was gutted when they were having all their troubles a couple of years back.
Man, I used to love the Premier League, but since Liverpool became good, it's just been so dead to me. It's too good.
It's just so hard to watch football right now. I mean, my WhatsApp group with my mates, it's like we only now tune in to watch our own teams, and it's hard to watch them because of things like VAR and stuff, and obviously
even
no fans
like the
as well.
worldwide atmosphere also affects that. But it's just that football is. I feel like if we started watching like League One and these fun leagues, we'd have fun. But the Prem and stuff, especially the Prem, is so whiny with all the VAR and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And
like it sucks the fun out of the
me?
game. And I definitely prefer watching it.
But I've only seen VAR be so bad in Russia and England. Nowhere else is it that.
Yeah, well, in the Netherlands, right? The offside rule is like they give it. There's like there's a margin of error in the offside rule. It's like you have to be within.
It's not that bad in Germany.
5 centimeters or something.
Yeah, Artem, what are you saying though?
I was saying, like, is it just me or has like the Premier League gotten too sanitized almost?
Yeah,
like, it's just like
you're right. Yeah,
it doesn't feel real anymore. You don't get the same scandals even that you used to get. Like that's why I kind of like Russian football, because you can still get like, I don't know, some random shit happening, like a player gets in a fight and goes to jail, like Kokorin, or like you can still get like Zuba wanking on camera or something like that. You don't get that stuff in the Premier League anymore.
Yeah, it used
You
to
know what I
be
mean?
like a soap opera. Like every week there'd be something different going on, and now it's just like Britain's Got Talent, basically. Or
It's it's really it's really gentrified.
Exactly.
It's like because and it's not exciting because Man City are just winning everything. Liverpool I don't like. Then there's no it's since Barclays left, it's not been the same. Since Barclays left,
Right. Let me ask you something. Right. What is the best Premier League football to ever exist?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not too big on the football ball craze. But
yeah,
that-
I couldn't tell you what many of them look like, to be honest.
But I think that iconic
my
one.
God.
which
I remember
they
a yellow
always show-
one.
Yeah, the yellow one with the blue Nike circle.
Yeah,
That looks nice.
that's the one I'm thinking
Then-
of.
Yeah, the ones you sort of associate to United Ronaldo and Arsenal Henry. But they don't even talk about football balls anymore, man.
Because they're all so
Yeah.
shit. They used to have so much character. Like the one I think of, I think it's like 2000.
I have no idea what the current
5,
ball
6.
looks like.
Yeah, this yellow one is definitely the one I was
2005,
thinking of.
6.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember the huffle about the Jabulani before the 2010 World Cup?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. That's an iconic ball.
These are the ones I was talking about, like that and that. They are the most iconic footballs.
The red and white
Ever.
one is not jumping out at me, but yeah, the yellow one definitely is the one that I was thinking of.
So
Like I never owned any of
so
these.
good.
Like
And,
I
like-
was not like allowed big purchases. Like I always had
How
the cheap
you,
footballs.
this is
This
I'm
logo,
always-
you see that one on the left, two to the left of this, that logo there on the
Yeah.
ball, that Barclays logo, or the Premier League, the FA Premier League, that's the logo that I sort of associate with watching it when I grew up.
Yeah, I'm the one with the one below that. Just the ball in the middle. That one. With the lower.
wait, which
But it's
this?
that one. Yeah. It's like how hard
Yeah.
hard is a proper football? Because I don't know if I've ever. India, you don't really have the best footballs.
You know what? It's weird. It depends on the football. Like, I used to know all of this. Like I've got behind me 8 footballs. Like I used to like. Not like when I was younger, I never bought footballs. But whenever I got to like 15, 16, I'd buy like a football every few months, and like I'd go up to like a football pitch and like. But because I'd be like mainly shooting free kicks and stuff like that, like I don't want to go grab the ball every single time I take a shot, so I have like 8 to 10 footballs with me all the time. So like I know the difference.
How'd you
between
cart them
so
all
many
down
balls,
there?
like,
How would you get
Wait,
them
what?
all there on the back of your bike or something?
No, I used to basically I was like properly extreme about like I wanted to just play football and no one ever let us play football. So like I bought my own
Oh my
nets.
God.
Like I'd bring a ladder up to put nets up, and like I'd bring footballs and stuff like that. I've got like a big like the net bag that I got could fit 2 nets, but one net is like the size of like maybe 5 footballs.
Yeah.
So like the bag was big enough to fit like 5 or 6 footballs at least, and then like grab another in my hand. The pitch I used to play on would be like a 20-minute walk from my house, so it wasn't that much of an issue for me to walk it. Like it was annoying because it was heavy, but like you get there and you forget about it all.
We used
you know?
we used to bike to our local park, which is like, for me it was like 10 minutes. And one of our friends lived close and he had a goal, and we would carry it from his back garden, and it was a fair size goal, not full size, probably like 3/4, half to 3/4 size goal. We used to carry it 5-minute walk from his house to the park and just plop it down, because there was no goals in this park, it was literally just a park. Plop it down and just play there after school every day, for like
Honestly, the thing
4
Artem
or 5
said.
years.
The thing Artem said about wanting to play football but no one ever lets us play football, that's the story of my life. Like that's the biggest. I feel sad when I think about me. I've not played football, I think since late 2017 I've played football less than 5 times properly, and that's heartbreaking.
That's
That-
insane. Yeah, like to be honest, like I haven't played in probably 16 or 18 months at this point. Obviously that's because of COVID,
Yeah.
but when I was younger, like the only time we'd be able to play is like, to be honest, we played all the time. Like we played every day, but that was because there was 2 trees that were like not exactly a football goal like size away from each
Yeah.
other, but like close enough that it wouldn't be that much of an issue. Like it was like maybe like a foot or 2 smaller than the actual goal, so it was almost like playing a 3/4 size goal. And you kind of you know, you always debate like, oh, did that hit the crossbar? Did it go in?
Yeah.
Because obviously there's trees. There's not actually any crossbar. You're just like, oh, that was over. No, it wasn't. We touched it. But like that's the kind of stuff that we used to do. Like we like loads of people might like when I was growing up. Like a lot of people were like able to go like and do like say play tennis or like play those other kind of sports or go to the cinema or something like that. My family never really had money, so all I had was a football. So me and my mates who also didn't really have that much money or their parents just didn't want to send them to the cinema. Football.
Honestly,
Football.
that sounds like the dream to me. Football.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's
it was
From, like,
amazing.
the ages
It was
of 14
amazing,
through to
but
like 17, 18, it was every day just finish school, get home, go to the park for like 3 hours and then come home again.
see, for me,
that's the thing. It was the best childhood, but then you get to like an age of like when I got to like 20 and I realized that there was other sports out there, I was like, shit, I really missed out on a lot. Like,
honestly, I'd love to be just football because the thing with me was that I had one school, and it was like we used to get like a period at least 45 minutes of football every day, and that was the best point of my school life. I scored some banging goals, I tell you, man. It wasn't even like proper goals or anything. It was just like Indian case. It was like 11 kids chasing after the ball, whatever. But it was still fun, right? Since then, I've not been able to play any football. Then when I was like 8 or 9, I used to go to this like Man United Academy thing, which is actually pretty fun. But it's that I don't. Of course, there was a point where I wanted to become a professional footballer, right? But the opportunities are very sparse in India, and I probably would not have made it anywhere. Most definitely would not have made it anywhere. But I just want to play football. I don't care if it's bad, like semi-pro level. I don't care if you're having to put your shoes as a goal. But even then, due to certain stuff, it's just been robbed of me. So like my dream in uni is just to play football. I don't need like take my degree. Just like let me play.
Yeah, I stopped once I got to uni. I presume you used to play as well at lunch, like Artem. Like just put we obviously just jumpers or bags as goals in the playground or something.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, we did like a good few times. I never really enjoyed it that much because the uniform would kind of like fuck us over a little bit. But like one of the things I remember from school, and I remember this vividly, is like every year we'd have a football tournament, and then when you're doing your leaving cert, which is like the final exams where I live, so like in our school we had a tradition of the teachers would put together 11 players,
we had that too.
the 6th years would play that. Yeah, exactly. So it was amazing. So it was like the teachers are playing against the students, and like it was so funny because some teachers who were like, you know, giving out bad grades to people, or like that were just a little bit annoying that people didn't really like them.
Yeah, you're definitely going hard on some teachers.
So
And there's probably like one woman in there who doesn't know what she's like, a middle-aged woman or something, because I feel like that would be a thing, or just some uncle.
We had this one teacher, right, and she was my business teacher, and she was a monster. Like she played like there's not really professional Gaelic football, that doesn't exist, but she played like semi-professional, which is like almost like a highest level. So she was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was bullying people. Like she was so shit with the ball, but like
Honestly, you know what the like?
Jesus Christ.
I feel like at not at the elite level, but I feel like there's not that much of a difference between like men and women when it comes to just like kicking about in the park. I feel like it's exaggerated.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah, man, no way. Like
Fair enough.
the average, but whenever I was growing up, like an average 14-year-old boy would make a professional women's team.
No, but that's not what I'm
easy.
saying. I'm saying like if you're just having a kickabout, then I feel like
Nah.
okay, fair enough.
Nah.
But no,
Sorry, it's just
maybe I've not played with too many like women or girls. I've not played football, period, which is sad. I just told you about that. But like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right.
We had one girl at our school who was like,
Hanu, the colleges you've applied to, have you looked into what they like? Have they got sports facilities? Are you gonna be able to play
Yes.
football?
Even if I don't make the team or anything, just give me a ball, and a person on the other end. That'll be enough.
Well, what they had in my old college, right? In
No
UCD,
proper team.
they had they had a proper team, but that's not what I was talking about. They had a Super League, and the Super League was essentially like any amount of people could like put together a team. Like you could like for the first year in the Super League, me and 3 mates wanted to play for a team, but there was no team to play for, so I decided to make a team, and we just had a load of randoms. It was like playing pro clubs, you know, when you're trying to get like, you know when you're doing the pro clubs thing, it's like you have to have like a full 11 or something. There's some game mode where it's like, you know, if someone's playing in every position. So it's kind of like that. Like exactly. Yeah. So like I'd made a team and we just had a lot of randoms join us, and it was the most fun thing ever. Like we were like one of the worst teams in the league, but it was so fun. Like just being able to play like once a week, full 90 minutes, like have actual like facilities, referees, everything. Like it was just amazing.
Honestly, that's like the thing I really like about the West, and even a lot of places in the East, is that there's Sunday league, there's tournaments, there's at least something, right? There's something to play at. But honestly, probably the happiest I've ever felt in my life, right, was in one of my schools. It was a year 6 versus year 7, right? And I scored the winning goal. Never felt that happy, and it was year 6. Never felt that happy.
Your life peaked.
My life peaked at that point. It was sensational. It was only like a couple of weeks after I joined the school, so like
you were instantly the school hero.
You made your name known.
It was beautiful. It was honestly beautiful.
I have actually a funny story from football when I was young. Like when I was playing for the school team, right? Like we were competing as one of the best teams in the country. Like we were really good. And there was one game we were winning, and we were like winning 5-1 at this point. I'd already scored, right? This was the last minute. The ball comes into me in the 6-yard box, and I had to hit it over, like vertically. Like it was a fucking terrible miss. Like it was absolutely awful. And my manager comes over to me and he's like, "What the hell happened there?" And I was like, "This was back in the day. KSI videos were really popping." Like, so I was like, I was just impersonating Emil Heskey. So the next day we come into training, and he brings out a pink bib with big Heskey on the back. But it's funny. I actually never had to wear it because we had a penalty shootout basically just to see who would be the penalty taker, and I hit all of mine. Like basically I hit one, not like kind of. If you think of the goal, right, it was like the right side of the goal, not bottom corner and not top corner, like right in the middle. But I hit those penalties, 5 of those penalties in a row in the same place. And he was like, "Nah, okay, you don't have to have the Heskey bib," and he gave it to someone who missed all 5 of those.
What age were you for this? Like primary or secondary?
15 or 16.
School, okay.
Sounds like a whale of a time.
No, secondary school.
I never played for my school team in secondary. I wasn't good enough. But I was at a really small primary school, and I was when I was year 5, so like 10. I was in the team playing at striker. And I scored once all season, and it was an own goal.
Fair enough. I mean, honestly,
and then the next season I was captain. Once all the year 6s left the school, I was then captain of the team. Actually, I wasn't captain. I was only captain when our original captain got kicked off for punching someone.
Oh my god!
But that season I played centre half, and I scored 3 times, including twice direct from a corner. So I was much more prolific as a centre half somehow.
That's
fair
madness.
enough. Nice little nostalgic segment, airing out our grievances and our good memories about football.
Oh yeah.
Let us know if you guys have any in the comments. David, do you want to talk about Artem? You want to talk about TV for a little bit, some series, some stuff like that? Because I know David want to talk about that. Maybe for 10-15 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm down. Like to be honest, I'm gonna be very passive in this. I don't watch that much TV. Like I'm mainly a YouTuber.
You're a man who has 8 footballs. Yeah, it makes sense now.
Exactly. I'm that kind of weirdo. I'm usually.
I do watch.
Kicking,
I watch a fair chunk of
footballs
YouTube.
around.
Like I have a group of YouTubers who I've watched for years, but they're all mainly Twitch streamers now, so I miss it because it's in the middle of the night. So I just watch all their VODs and stuff the next day.
YouTube, like the only YouTube I watch is like sort of those good stuff that comes on the recommendation, like some knowledgeable stuff here and there, but mostly it's like a couple of music reviewers, and then Nepenthes still, because he's just great to have in the background. And then it's mostly either songs that I'm playing on YouTube despite having Spotify.
Oh yeah, I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube still as well.
Because I feel like the YouTube mix thing is so much better than Spotify.
I don't do it for that. I specifically search out songs, and then I like to look at the comments and
Yeah, and
just,
then
it's just nice when you have a song that you like and you see other people enjoying it too.
Yeah, that's true. But for TV, I think where I don't know how much TV Artem has watched, but I think our overlap, me and Artem, if there was a Venn diagram, then the overlap between mine and Artem's would be The Office, and
Yeah, okay, I can agree
And
with
I'm rewatching The Office. I'm on season 8. What a show, man! Sensational, phenomenal show. Like there's so many lines and stuff in every episode that are hilarious, but they'll never even make like the funniest moments. Well,
Yeah.
phenomenal show. David, have you watched The Office, the American one?
No, I've only seen the UK one.
The American one is great.
I'm jealous of you, David, because if you ever end up wanting to watch The Office, the American one, you are in for a serious treat. You are in for hundreds of
It's on my
episodes.
long short list, my long list as you might call it, I suppose. But I'm a hardcore UK fan, so I've defended it hardly over the years. Because obviously the Americans obviously don't like it.
Because the thing with like rewatching The Office is that there's so many awkward moments and so much like stuff that you just want to skip. But it's still
Well, the UK
hilarious.
one, you mean, or the US one?
No, the US
No,
one.
the US
The UK one was like, yeah, I mean, I think the UK one follows the first series of the US one, or the US one obviously came second, but the storyline was the same. And then I'm sure I would enjoy the US Office because I like Parks and Recs and I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I like Community, things like that. So I probably will enjoy it.
I'm watching Parks and Rec right now. Actually, I think on season 2 something.
For the first time.
Yeah, for the first time.
Oh yeah, Parks and Recs really is great. Like, and it picks up. Like, personally, I still quite like season 1 and 2. But people say, most like the hardcore fans say that season 3 is where it really kicks off. But I like it from 1 and 2 still.
That's fair.
David, if you end up watching the US Office, the first season, just bear with it.
Exactly.
Like
Well, yeah, the
It's
first
still good.
season's just
It's not
copying
the best.
the UK one. That's all I know about it. Is that the first season?
The biggest problem is with Michael. Michael's just
Really awful.
yeah, pretty bad character. But once you get to season 2 onwards, it's great. It's just
I can't
non-stop.
remember what it was that I said to Hanu, oh yeah, we need to talk TV at some point. Well, I can't even remember what we were talking about.
Yeah, so that was, but with The Office, the thing about, last thing on that, Artem, is that you hate Michael in the first season, but by the time he leaves, it's such a perfect arc that you love it so much. But no,
Yeah.
and the thing that started this segment, and mine and David's overlap in the Venn diagram is Mr. Robot, which I truly believe is the best TV show ever made. And then I was telling actually David to watch Fargo, which is another phenomenal TV show. It's like, if you watch the movie Fargo, then it's sort of plot lines from that, but it's another thriller thing. It's lovely. But yeah, David, what else would you recommend for the people? Let's see if we can find an overlap for you and Artem.
I know an overlap for me and David. It has to be.
What is it?
Like, David, if you haven't watched this show, then you've
Go on.
disappointed me.
Yeah,
Between
I've
us.
of course seen and loved that as a kid. Well, not as a kid, like when I went to
go.
uni as an 18-year-old into halls, that was when the final season came out. And I remember every night it was like crammed into someone's room in halls to watch the episode live. I mean,
So good.
Channel 4
That's
had
one of
some
my
great,
favourite
they
TV
had
shows.
Misfits, which I don't know if you saw, season 1 and 2 with Robert Sheehan were fantastic. And they had Skins season 1 and 2, which is like, it's one of my favourite shows ever. Still, Skins, like those first 2 seasons are great. They're just so good in so many ways. Like, there was that point where everyone just wanted to be like the kids from Skins, who were just going out, getting wasted, doing drugs and all that. But it was like, it's such a great drama still.
I've never seen Skins, but I
I
fully
mean, it
endorse,
was another Channel 4
Misfits.
highlight. You
Love
had
it.
that. You had In Between's Misfits and Skins all sort of at roughly same time. Like, they were all sort of out at the same time. Yeah, they're all great.
Yeah.
So yeah, In Between is. I saw a clip of it the other day and I was like, oh, I must give that another watch soon.
I feel like it's such a good TV show to like watch passively.
Yeah.
Like, if you're kind of just doing something, you can stick it on. And
Yeah.
You're not gonna really miss everything.
Once
but-
you've seen something
You're
once,
not
yeah,
gonna miss
like,
everything.
everyone's got shows like you have your series shows that you sit down and watch. But if you need something on in the background, you have a comedy show that you've seen already. Like, you just go through like Parks and Recs or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Friends, which I've not watched for a few years now, but I've watched a lot of times over the years. The Simpsons. I'm watching The
Friends is a
Simpsons
good
again on Disney Plus. I'll probably end up stopping soon because I'm almost at season 11, and that's all where it goes downhill.
What about Family Guy and South Park and things like that? Do you just watch it?
Yeah, I used to be a big Family guy when I was like in sixth form, and I haven't basically watched it since. And actually, South Park, I'd never seen it until early last year, and I literally finished the last episode last Friday, I think. So I've now seen every single episode. Like I was just all the way through the pandemic, I was basically just watching one every day at lunch. I get half an hour for lunch. I would go sit down, watch an episode because it's like 20 minutes, and that was my lunch. So yeah, I've now seen it all. Yeah, South Park's great.
I feel like the later seasons though, like I love the episodes of South Park where it's a self-contained episode.
Yeah.
Where, like, nothing carries over to the next one. Did you notice like in season, I think it was probably season 15 or 14 or one of them, when they brought in like the member berries?
Yeah, see, it was
those
like season
those
17,
things,
18, they started having a season had a storyline that went through it, rather than you might have
I feel
large
like it went-
overarching storylines or large character developments in the past, but largely it was just here's 10 wacky episodes that have no connection to each other. But
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like it went a little bit downhill. I felt like those episodes.
some of these later episodes are really good, and some of them are not so good. Have you played the two games, by the way? There's two South Park games.
I don't think I've
They're
played
really
either
good.
of them, no.
Yeah, the first one was decent. The second one's really good. And I obviously only played them last year once I'd seen enough of the show to appreciate them. But yeah, the second one was really good. The Fractured Butthole, I think it's called.
Sounds fun.
But Mr. Road
All right,
is
David.
the one. Go on.
Can I bring up something else from the past that you're absolutely gonna know? Hanu, I really hope that you've played this game as well. It might be the best game of all time.
I think I know
right?
which one you're gonna say.
I don't think
It's
you
either
do.
the Simpsons game or Road Rage or something like that.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. The Simpsons.
Oh, I
Road
thought you were going
Rage.
to say Simpsons Hit and Run, which I don't know if it had a different international title. Simpsons
No, I've
Road
never-
Rage.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
I've never played that game, but I've
Simpsons
like,
I
seen
did
videos
sort of
of
play
it.
Simpsons Road Rage, but I was more Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, I
Hit and
remember
Run was
Hit
the
and Run as
best.
well.
Like, it was an open
My-
world game. That was like, it was so good. I put so much time into
My-
Simpsons Hit and Run.
that
It was
part
like
of my
GTA
childhood
Simpsons.
No, I remember there was a thing with like Road Rage. I think it was Road Rage anyway, but it was like you could almost play chasing. So like the game goes into like two screens. You've got two people, and it's like when you hit one person, I can't remember, something changed on the screen or something. It was almost like like an actual chasing game, like tag, but with cars.
My
amazing.
that
Okay.
part of my childhood was spent on the Wii, Wii Sports, a lot of racing games. I actually was a massive car guy until I got into football, but I truly believe that I was one of the best Mario Kart players in the world at one point in my age group. I was on Mario Kart Wii was my shit, and but yeah, I mean,
I always found that with the Wii, it was one of those things that you really wish that your friend had.
I loved the Wii.
Like you'd love to go over and play it like once in a while, but I always got sick
Yeah,
of it. Like,
the only
after
thing
a
I
couple
used to
of
play
hours.
a lot on the Wii, which I'd have my mates around for, was I had Tiger Woods Golf on the Wii, and that was always
But
fun.
that's-
Like you could play Augusta,
yeah.
you could play Augusta on
I-
it too, so that was always cool.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
I
that's
forgot.
cool. Do you know? I'd love to have an actual golf simulator in your house.
Mm. I've
Imagine
got
how
one of the
cool
golf
that'd be.
games on the PlayStation. I still play it occasionally.
They're good. There's actually going to be a new
Yeah.
one, isn't it? I think was it Tiger Woods is coming
I think
back.
so. Yeah, there's definitely a PGA 22 or 2K22 or something coming out soon. I
Is
think.
Tiger Woods alright now?
That's going to be
We
huge.
never heard of him anything after the crash. I hope
Yeah, he's
back
okay. He didn't play in the last tournament. He didn't turn
No,
up. Like as a past winner, he's allowed to play, but he didn't turn up. I think he's okay. Like he's just going for recovery.
He's in crutches and stuff like that. He's got a knee brace on, but like he seems alive. The best part of his career is gone by anyway. It's a little bit upsetting because every single time you hear that Tiger's playing,
Yeah,
you still
but
want to watch him.
we
but
thought
it's
that
just-
we
it's
thought
not
that
the
5
same.
years ago, and then he won the Masters 2019. Like
Mm.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere, he won it, and it was like the best moment.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, TV. I got one for you, Artem. That you might. I don't know if you watched it. It's a British show, another British show on BBC. Gavin and Stacey. Don't know if you've ever seen
No,
that
I
one.
never watched that.
James Corden obviously
I'm
was the star of that.
Oh, I didn't know
he
that
wrote it
actually.
before. That was
Man
like his.
like
It was like his
Carpool
break.
karaoke.
It's great as well. And they did they came back and wrote a special, like it was on like 10-15 years ago, and they did a Christmas special for it last year, and it was the highest grossing thing on British TV for the whole year.
Really? Oh my god!
But also,
actually, I think
go on.
I think my girlfriend likes watching that.
Going back to the football, there was something that came to my head earlier that I thought about, which was, and I don't know how did you used to watch the Barclays in, like, do you have Match of the Day in Ireland? I don't know if that's the case. I presume you do.
We used to I used to watch the highlights on some. It was on our local TV station. I don't think I actually watched it. Like, we have Match of the Day here. I don't think I ever watched it until probably
because
2000.
There was a stage where BBC lost the rights to the Premier League, and the highlights went to ITV. And the TV show that they had, the intro song was "Beautiful Day" by U2. And I saw the intro titles to that recently, and oh my god, the nostalgia! I don't think I've ever felt more nostalgia than when I watched the intro to that. Like, just it brought back. So it must have been when I was really. It must have just been when I was really getting into football as a kid. Like, get up on the Sunday morning because it was too late for me to watch it the night before. Watch it first thing Sunday morning. All the highlights of the Prem. It was great.
Did you ever watch soccer?
I never had Sky really. So no, actually, I say never had Sky. I've never had Sky. So yeah, I never watched Soccer AM at all. I like.
But was that on Sky One? Is Sky One not free over there? Sky One is the only
free
thing.
In the UK. Sky Sports News used to be free, and the only Sky thing that's now free is Sky News. No, I've never had Sky One. But it was on. I thought it used to be on Sky Sports Soccer AM. Yeah, certainly over here anyway.
Oh, what the hell? That's outrageous. What
like,
the hell?
I'd seen it occasionally, like if I went around my mates, but pretty much only seen clips of it online and stuff.
No, that's like that. That was like people's childhood over here, because it was on Sky One. Sky One's like over here, it's a free channel. Like, it's the channel that just shows The Simpsons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We never
Simpsons.
Any...
I know Simpsons was on Sky, but Simpsons originally was on BBC Two and then was on Channel 4 for a long time. Actually, it still is on Channel 4. But yeah.
That's crazy. I can't believe they just don't have Sky free. I thought that was just a standard thing.
Never had Sky. It's never. You have to pay for Sky and get the whole package, pretty much. Like, I paid £30 this month to get access to Sky Sports via Now TV, so I could watch the Masters, and I've watched 2 F1 races, and I've watched a few football matches as well. So I'm getting my money for it, but like, it's £30 for a month.
TV prices over there
it's
are
like, it's just not worth it, really.
You're being a big fan of golf.
I like the Masters, and that's it. Like, I don't really watch anything else golf wise. The Masters is the one, because it's at the same course every year.
Do you play it all?
Yeah. I like playing golf, but I prefer just short courses. I actually played foot golf this weekend. Have you ever played foot golf?
Oh, foot golf is great. I have one up the road.
Went this weekend, and I was like, the first time I played, I was quite unfit at the time and really rusty, not played football in ages. I did the hammy on like the second hole because I just wasn't used to smashing football that hard. So I was like, shit, okay, lockdown, not done a lot of working out. Have to make sure I really stretch. And thankfully, I was alright this time. Went all the way around. It was good. Like, lockdown's eased in the UK a bit, so I could go out and do that. We were able to go get dinner afterwards. Me and my mates go to the pub. It was a grand day.
Oh, you bastards!
So yeah.
Yeah, user in the words of your government, no longer in a pandemic.
Yeah, which is a bit mad.
Fuck you all. We're still here, just about allowed to go. Like, our restrictions were eased recently, so now we're allowed to go more than 5 kilometers away from our house, but not more than 20. The pubs are still closed. Nobody can get a haircut. The golf courses are back open. Actually,
oh god, yeah. So haircut was the first thing. Literally, I got my haircut at 9 a.m. the day that restrictions eased. Because it was my hair was like
9 a.m. That's funny.
Ridiculous. I was literally first one through the door.
That's funny.
No, I've been getting my hair cut off my girlfriend's brother. And to be fair, he's actually doing a pretty good job. Like, to the point where I'm like, do I even go back to the barbers at this stage? Like, is it even worth it for me? Because how much do you spend on a haircut?
Like 12 quid.
12 quid. Yeah, that's actually fairly, like, that's probably the same as mine when you convert it. And how much do you usually spend for a haircut?
If it's in India, it's like probably $2, and if it's in Singapore, it's like $10.
Yeah, like it's a reasonable
Pretty
enough.
cheap, yeah. Like
To be fair.
I know you used to like properly whip it out for the haircuts.
I used to pay 16 quid every 2 weeks.
I go like I go once every 6 weeks roughly.
Yeah, I think that 6 weeks is a nice amount of time. Like I'm starting to notice that's kind of how I'm getting my haircuts nowadays. But
Mm.
when I used to have a skin fade, it would disappear after 2 weeks. So you need to go straight back in.
Going back to TV then,
Get it
what
done
is let's just go for the big question. What is your favourite show of all time? Comedy or otherwise? You know, it doesn't have to be comedy.
We'll round it off with this one because we have been going for over 90 minutes now. And then of course, if you guys want like a clubhouse, if that still exists or something later during the games, we can do that. And
Full Clubhouse. It's dead.
then we
It
can
might
do
well be dead.
Discord or something. I don't know if you guys want to do that. But my favorite show all time, comedy, is The Office and overall Mr. Robot. Artem, you go.
Overall, I think it's either Breaking Bad. I think that whole series was unbelievable. Or what I enjoyed more than Breaking Bad was Prison Break season 1 and 2, but only season 1 and 2.
Mm.
So they're my favorite series. Comedy wise, The Office is great. Like I feel like it depends what kind of comedy I'm in the mood for. I love Family Guy. I love South Park. I love like even How I Met Your Mother. I love that.
Yikes.
And In Between is just fantastic too. So I don't know. I can't really give one. I don't think I've watched any of them in like a year at least now. So
Alright, David, what about you?
I think comedy wise, I go like probably first 3 seasons of Community are like very good TV. Either that or I'd have Parks and Rec up there too probably. Main show is Band of Brothers, shortly followed probably my Mr. Robot. Band of Brothers only had 10 episodes. It's arguably the greatest show of all time. But Breaking Bad obviously is insanely good too. But my favourite is Band of Brothers. Watch it at least once a year.
Fair enough. That's a nice set of recommendations for you guys. We hope you related to us on a few of our topics at least. TV, nostalgia, football, whatever. And yeah, we're going to be back with some sort of a rebrand at least next week. At the very least, we'll have a Twitter account.
is it better for us to wait until the new season to actually properly rebrand? Like I think if you can change your @ on Twitter, we can always do that.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
We'll figure it out anyway. Like I'm sure, like by the next episode, if whoever's listening still, first of all, if you're actually listening to this 92 minutes in,
Legend.
respect. But yeah, you'll.
If you're listening to this at this point, comment the word.
Yeah,
comment
comment
Krasnodar are goated in the comments.
Don't do that.
No, because no one's actually gonna do that. So like we have to comment something like actually someone that's someone's gonna answer. Like so like we have to make it a comment that someone that didn't listen to the whole podcast won't understand. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Just say something, man. Just comment. Get us up in the algorithm.
Just say the 2005-2006 Premier League football was the best one.
Yeah, just say something like that. And yeah, do that. Artem, you want to do the honors?
Yeah, so like I mean we've been winding down for a while, so I won't say that much. But David, first of all, thank you for coming back on. Always a pleasure to have
No
you.
probs. Always enjoy it.
And anybody who's listening, gold medal on Sport Rex. We actually, I don't think we've touched Sport Rex in a while. Sorry, Spartak. YouTube, leave us a like. Let us know if we should rebrand or whatever. Like, no one let us know the last 2 times, so I'm not expecting anything, but we'll see you all next week.
Where's Audacity? Here it is. Stop.